As a first-generation Indian woman born to two immigrant parents, I have spent my entire life trying to find a place that felt like home in this country. I have loved the arts from a very young age. I've been singing and dancing since I figured out how to do it. My first introduction to the arts in my Indian household was through Carnatic music, a South Indian music form, and through Bharatanatyam, a South Indian dance form, and of course, Bollywood. But none of those bridged the gap of home for me in this country. Slowly, Bharatanatyam turned into ballet and tap and jazz, and Carnatic music turned into chorus and band and Western voice lessons. But it wasn't until high school that I found that thing that felt like home to me, because that happened when I found musical theater. And when I found it, I let it absolutely swallow me whole. I left some of my Indian roots behind, but I did it because I was so hungry for something that felt like home in this country. And theater finally gave me that. Now, as I felt more at home, I wanted to share more of myself. I wanted to share things that I had kept hidden away. I wanted to share things that I felt shame for because they were different. I wanted to share things that I felt guilty about because I thought that they might make me stick out. Home gives us a sense of calmness. It makes us want to share what we learn and to share our perspectives with other people. We're more likely to want to help other people when we feel at home, and we're more likely to want to nurture and grow this space around us when we have that feeling of home. So as I continued my career, I was lucky enough to find Capacity Interactive, a shared space full of people who have found their home in the arts. In fact, that's what unites all of us in this room, this home that we have found in the arts. Now, not only do we cherish the arts, but we also passionately participate in the arts. We want to contribute to improving the industry, to helping it grow, to helping it thrive, to learning from each other, and that's why we all came here today. And those desires drive so much of what we do at Capacity Interactive today. Now, there was something else that was sparked in me when I found Capacity Interactive, and that is a deep love of measurement and data. I quickly learned the power of data to set us free, to help us better understand and connect with our audiences by better understanding their behavior. And I quickly learned how data could influence all facets of our decision-making, and I just became absolutely addicted to it. This is something that has been true at Capacity Interactive for the entirety of my time there and the entirety of its history and our core values, and it has just been this beautiful marriage of wanting to help the arts thrive by using the power of data and bringing those two things together. So that marriage is what birthed the idea of Cultural Compass, which is our latest digital marketing benchmark study that is there to help guide our sector, our space, our home in arts and culture. We have the gift of working with hundreds of arts and cultural institutions across North America, and as a result, we spend our days surrounded by data. We built this study to share the data, to learn from the data, to find solace in it, to celebrate, and to commiserate in it. So Cultural Compass uses a year's worth of data from over 150 arts and cultural institutions, over 7,000 campaigns, and millions of dollars in digital advertising to offer digital marketing benchmarks specifically for our industry. But more than that, it offers thought starters on marketing opportunities that data provides to all of us. So today I want to take you through just a few areas of the study and illustrate how this data can help inform your marketing strategy and marketing opportunity. So let's start with Q3. The third quarter of the year is a quarter of untapped potential for all of us. So what do I mean by that? Q3 has the lowest advertising spends of any quarter across the year. This is true on both Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram, as well as Google. So lowest spends across the year. On top of that, in Q3, your dollar goes even further than it would go in any other quarter of the year. So here, we're looking at some data on CPMs, or cost per thousand impressions, which is how we pay to advertise on Meta. CPMs are at their lowest all year in Q3, so you can likely reach even more people than you could in any other quarter of the year, in Q3 in particular. Now let's talk about the results. So here we're looking at page view rate. So page view rate helps us understand how efficiently we're driving traffic to the site as a result of our advertising. Here you can see on both Meta and Google the spend, that low spend in Q3 where the dollar is going even further with the low CPMs. That spend is driving site traffic quite efficiently with some of the highest page view rates of any quarter on both Meta and Google. You can see that here. But of course, let's talk about, more importantly, purchases. So here we're looking at purchase rate, which measures how efficiently we're driving purchases as a result of our advertising. That Q3 spend, that low spend where the dollar goes even further, that efficiently drives site traffic. Here we can see it drives purchases more efficiently by far than any other quarter on both Meta and Google. Next, let's look at CPA. CPA is cost per acquisition, or in this case, cost per purchase. So not only are those purchases being driven incredibly efficiently in Q3, but they're being driven incredibly cost effectively in Q3 as well. So low spend, the dollar goes even further, site traffic is being driven more efficiently, purchases are being driven more efficiently, and they're being driven super cost effectively compared to any other quarter. So now the question becomes, how can we harness and leverage the power of Q3 in our marketing? Maybe it is about how we announce our season, or if you're not announcing your season in Q3, maybe it's about using leads that you collect when you do announce your season and targeting them even further in Q3 and using your spend to take that dollar even further. Maybe it's about putting your season on sale. Maybe your single ticket on sale happens in Q3. How can this data help you think about how you approach your single ticket on sale? Or maybe it's just about starting your season with a bang. Maybe you want to spend even more in Q3 when you kick off your season because you know that dollar is going to help you reach even more people specifically in that quarter. Maybe this has nothing to do with your season kickoff, but it has everything to do with your brand campaigns or your evergreen campaigns. What does this data do to help you flight your spend specific to a quarter where you know that dollar is going to take you even further than it would take you in any other quarter? There are a ton of opportunities, but my point is that this data sets free our creativity on how we want to take advantage of this untapped potential that the study shows, specifically in Q3. Another focus area of the study is video length. So our research showed that there actually is a such thing as too short when it comes to video length. Here we're looking at hold rate, which helps us understand how effectively we are holding the attention of viewers when they're viewing our video content. You can see here videos under 9 seconds are not holding attention well. So maybe there is a such thing as too short when it comes to our videos. On the other end of the spectrum, our research also shows that there could be a such thing as too long when it comes to video length. So here we're looking at page view rate to understand how efficiently we're driving site traffic as a result of our videos. You can see there's a significant drop off in that site traffic once you hit that 120-second or 2-minute mark. So maybe there is a such thing as too long when it comes to our videos. On the flip side, though, our research also revealed what we're calling a video length sweet spot. So here we're looking at 3 different metrics. The first is hold rate, which again is looking at how efficiently we're holding attention from our videos. The second is page view rate, how efficiently are we getting people to the website? And then third is engagement rate, how efficiently are we driving engagements as a result of our videos? You can see here that videos in that 1 to 2 minute sweet spot are holding attention, driving site traffic, and driving engagement most efficiently. So now the question becomes, how can we tell our stories more impactfully knowing the effect of this video length sweet spot on videos in that time frame? So maybe the data helps us be more concise so that we can stay under that 2-minute mark. Maybe it helps us take our time more so that we can get to that 1-minute mark, whatever it takes to get to that compelling moment. Maybe we can take more time in telling our stories. Either way, this data sets free our creativity to consider how this video length sweet spot makes its way into our own content creation practices on the ground. Finally, let's talk about Google. First, I just want to define Performance Max. So Performance Max is a goal-based Google Ads campaign type that allows you to access all of Google's inventory within one single campaign. So that means YouTube, display, that means search, maps, Gmail, all of the placements across the Google universe can be accessed through one campaign. And that campaign uses machine learning to optimize ad delivery in real time to help advertisers reach their marketing objectives, whether that be site traffic, whether that be purchases. The algorithm can use the data in real time and place ads across the entire inventory. So Performance Max, in other words, is asking us to cede more control to the machine on how and where our creative is placed, which can seem scary, but let me tell you about what Cultural Compass has to say about Performance Max. So first of all, the returns on investment, ROIs, across all organization types. So here you can see 4 different shades of gray. Those are 4 different verticals within arts and culture: dance, theater, museums, and orchestra. Across those verticals, you can see the returns are off the charts for both paid search, which we know, and Performance Max, compared to any other campaign type across all verticals. And so you can see that the Performance Max returns are just far and beyond what you're seeing in some of these other Google campaign types. But not only that, the site traffic driven by these campaigns is incredibly cost-effective across verticals. So here we're looking specifically at costs per page view driven by advertising through Performance Max and paid search. Those are the lowest by far across verticals, and you can see that they sort of scale higher as you look at those other Google campaign types. Finally, cost per acquisition, or again, cost per purchase, driven by both paid search and Performance Max, can't be beat. They are the lowest. Same story unfolds here, again, across all verticals. Display, demand gen, and YouTube are coming in much more expensive in driving purchases than both paid search and Performance Max. Now, what's most astounding and honestly, I think kind of exciting about this data is that only 17% of organizations who participated in the study are actually taking advantage of Performance Max. So we have ROIs averaging over 1,000%. CPAs are only about $15, and only 17% of organizations right now are taking full advantage of what Performance Max has to offer, which means there is so much untapped potential in this campaign type for our industry, which to me is exciting, and I just have a lot of optimism about that. So how can we harness this power of Performance Max? Once again, this data is setting free our creativity to reallocate, reprioritize based on what we're seeing in the data from Cultural Compass. These are just three small areas that are covered in the study. There are many, many more. Hopefully I've piqued your interest and maybe you would like to learn more. But again, this data is really setting free our creativity to be able to make decisions that are more informed in our marketing strategy and in our marketing mix. At Capacity Interactive, one of our values is and has always been sharing. We know that knowledge is empowering, and we work as hard as possible to share what we learn as widely as we can. That's why we published Cultural Compass. And at the core, it comes from, again, our collective desire to nurture and grow this space that we have called home for many, many years. I personally will always feel super indebted to this industry. I know many of you feel the same. This magic and this space has just had a profound impact on my life, and I know many of you feel that way too. Cultural Compass is one way for us to give back. Because as I once heard, community is much more than just belonging to something. It's about doing something together that actually makes that belonging matter. Thank you.